to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck, but don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money verb while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved.
And that is right, folks. We are back with a freshly groomed cat over here. Looking fresh, Meow. Nice haircut.
Thank you. Meow.
Meow is in the building. He's got his mic on. Greetings to everybody from across the Jupiverse. Let us know where you're calling in from in the chat, because I think that we should have most continents represented. I think that we do, but let's find out in the chat whether or not we do. As we wait for the final folks to kind of get involved and join the stream here, Let's all just collectively shame Meow. Meow, did you forget about our bet, brother? I haven't seen any push-ups coming out of your side in a little while, my guy.
Oh my god, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I'll believe it when I see it here. We should have had a backup bet on what to do if you did.
No, I'll do it, bro. I'll do it.
Yeah, but now you're publicly shamed in front of 4,000 of my closest friends. So best of luck with that one. We are also paging the Singapore police. Soju is back in Singapore. The lady killer is there. Please hide your girlfriends, hide your wives. And we are approaching Cloud 9. You see what Trijani did there? A little teaser for what's coming up very soon. Chad biceps. I like that. People complimenting your physique as well, Meow. Is there anything else you need in life? I don't think so.
Love, I need more love. Yeah.
You were the man that told me you shouldn't need love. If you remember this whole conversation.
Yeah, I was talking shit. I totally need love. Give more love. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, let's go ahead and start to welcome people here. Hello and welcome to the Jupiter Planetary call. It is July 10th, and we have a banger of a call for you. A bunch of incredible guests, a bunch of cool updates, and some very important mental programming about where Jupiter is going for the rest of the year. But before we get to all of that good stuff, let's start it off here with the official Cadet theme song. Drop a little J for J in the chat if you're with me on the Cadet theme. God, that gets me so hyped up every goddamn time, and I hear that song every day, and it still makes me excited.
All day, every day, man. All day, every day. Rapping all day, every day. You know.
I should make this.
It's funny. It's funny because that song really makes me want to party. You know, it's really funny. You know.
It does. We need more funk. Listen, if you are watching this right now and you can make Brazilian funk edits of cool Jupiter stuff, please reach out to me. There's an Uplift grant waiting for you because we need to expand the musical universe of Jupiter even further. In case it's a fucking banger, no lie, says Trey, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. In case you don't already know, my name is Cash Donda. I am the Uplink working group lead over here at Jupiter. That is the working group out of the DAO that helps put on these calls and create a bunch of other content. And I will be your host today, along with the one, the only, the cat man himself, Meow. And we got some fun things cooking. In case it's your first time here, this is now the 20th time. 20 times we've done this, Meow. Do you remember early on we were talking, should we do it like every other week? Or we were like, no, let's do it every week. There's enough good stuff. I can't believe we're already at 20 of these, which means we've done about probably like 35 hours of planetary calls at this point.
Cash, can I tell you something though?
Please.
It's like with you, it just feels like it was one call, you know? Time flies with you.
Oh, gonna make a brown man blush over here. Look at the Riz King himself challenging Soju. Let's see.
Gotta get game, man. Gotta pick up my game, man. You know, I hang out with Soju every day. And I'm like, oh my god, such rich, bro. I gotta pick all that shit up. You know, it's all Soju, man. It's all Soju, you know?
Just pick it up through osmosis.
But the point is this, like he gets all the girls. I got all the brown guys. You know, right?
I mean, I'm a little bit biased as a brown guy myself, but you'd rather have the brown guys. Where there's like a billion of us, so that's a pretty good TAM already, you know. And we have our own charms, I would say. Anyway, going back to it, if it's your first time, we will be dropping.
Sorry, just real quick, is that someone is saying that if you want to contribute some music, I think me and Cash are very, very excited about doing a J.U.P record label. We are very serious about that stuff. We have been kind of busy recently, but we get to that. That's firstly, right? And secondly, Christopher Roselis, I love you, man. That's the sexiest freaking username I've ever seen in the world.
Welcome to the Planetary Call, where we basically just hit on all of you attendees, and me and Meow will just say flirtatious things to you for the next hour and a half. So if it is your first time here, we are actually here to celebrate the people, the products, the partners that make the Jupiter universe great. This is not a time to talk about the Jupiter token or token price or any of those kinds of things. Rather, we're going to focus on the actual things that move the meta forward, this world where people are actually using crypto in their day-to-day life, not just owning it. And that is all around product, community, and expanding the pie. That's what we got going on. And today, the agenda is thick. This is a chunky agenda. There's no other way to say it. We got some wins of the week that we'll go through up top. Then Meow's going to talk about JUP Forward, which is all about H2 2024. So what is going to happen over the next 6 months at a high kind of strategic philosophical level with Jupiter to help execute on the mission. Then we're going to talk about the LFG Launchpad. There are a bunch of new upgrades that have come through. So our guy, the Lady Killer himself, will be talking us through that. And then we're going to have FP Lee from Sanctum on to talk about their upcoming launch, which grows closer by the minute, folks. It's getting close. After that, we're going to talk to one of my favorite creators in the entire space. Super excited to be working with him. My guy, Soljakey, will be on. And then we're going to talk to one of the OGs in all of crypto, one of the men responsible for DeFi Summer in the very first place years ago. Kane from Infinex is here to talk about that project and the Jupiter partnership and a few other things. And then finally, we're going to go into Catdets Corner, which we didn't have last time, which was a bit of a bummer, but it's back this time, better than ever. Two-time returning Cadet and recently minted Cadet of Culture, or cock as we call them in the business. We have Sax here with a bunch of good updates to talk about. If you don't like that, Meow, you shouldn't have called them Cadets of Culture. That one is your fault. You know where your abbreviations end up going here, brother.
Let's go on.
All right. And then we will have the closing POAP at the very end. So if you're here for the POAP, you're going to have to stick around with us till the end of the day to capture that. With that said, let's get into the wins of the week.
Cash, I mean, I would say this. There's just way too many jokes and puns that can use with cats. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. There's way too many I can use.
Actually, sorry, Meow, I don't understand. What are you referring to? I don't know.
Okay, let's go. I'll educate you some time. It's fine.
Okay. Cool. All right. Wins of the week here, first and foremost, folks. There were a few to go through. The Meow is just texting me dirty things on the side, just so everyone knows that. If you see me giggling, that's what's happening. First and foremost, active staking rewards are live. Drop a little W in the chat for me here. This has been a promise made, promise kept for people that are contributing value back into the Jupiter ecosystem through voting on the JUP proposals, have now gotten their active staking rewards. There's two things that I think are particularly cool about this. The first one, other places, you just kind of stake and Lord knows what's going to happen. Here, the emphasis is not on just people who hold the token. It's people who participate in what's going on in the protocol. And I think that is very cool. The active staking rewards is the most important word there. And the second piece that I think is very cool is the JUP that was allocated gets auto-staked, right? And here you can see what the intention is very clearly. The intention is to give people that are participating actively more and more of a say in the protocol's development over time and in the DAO's development over time. This is what we call aligning the incentives, folks. This is what the J for J mentality is all about. And I'm really thrilled with how well it's gone, both on the tech side as well as on the community side. People bring this forward. Shout out to YY and Soju. Meow, what did you want to say about the ASR?
No, I would say that the ASR was an experiment, right? There's really no such thing in DeFi before. And I think if you read some of the writing we put out about why we started ASR and how we did the ASR thing and how we designed the ASR thing and how we marketed the ASR thing, I think it was all done in a way to really facilitate the creation, right, of a community that is actually really on voting, right, and being part of the community, right. And I think the second thing I'll say is that I think so. I'm actually really happy with how the first one turned out, right? But to be clear though, the success of ASR is not in one cycle, right? The success of ASR will be around like how many cycles can we sustain it for, right? I think that's actually one of the things that that actually we have to work on. And I think and also another thing to remember is that ASR is highly dependent on how many people stake, right? So if the more people stake it and stuff, then obviously the rewards will be less. Right, and
the rewards on a per person basis will be less.
Yeah, per person. And also after the second ASR, right, the community had to vote, right, based on vote on extending ASR and also how much that would be moving forward, right, So I think basically I think ASR is fun because the community is gonna have to. Again, the first two seasons of ASR, I think the team provided that based on launchpad fee. Right, but moving forward, right, it will be around the community themselves has to decide what is the right balance, you know what I'm saying, between providing rewards to incentive participation, right, versus letting too many, like obviously overdoing it, right? I'm saying, so I think it's gonna be fun. I think that the ASR vote will be coming, I think definitely in this quarter, right? So I think it'll be really fun, to figure out. Yeah.
I think it's slated tentatively for next month. We will see exactly when it actually happens, but a very fun one. Hopefully everyone has claimed. If not, I think you still have another 3 weeks or so to claim, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit longer. It's a 30-day claim window. So if you haven't done it already, please go do that now and collect your rewards for being an active community member.
One more thing, I want to say like a really big thanks to Shuju and YY and the whole team, and everyone who worked on the ASR page. I mean, like, that's great work. I think everyone like really loved it. The whole comms was great. I mean, it's actually always tricky when you work on a new concept, right? Because there's so many things to work on, right? The technology, the communications, the community outreach and stuff. So I really felt like everything was like done like really, really well and stuff, right? And guys, to be honest here, I think for this ASR, I didn't do much. Right? I just mostly kind of wrote about kind of what I think needs to be done. Right? And then I think it was like terrific execution from a team. Yeah.
I would agree.
I mean, the lady killer doesn't just kill ladies, man. He also kills execution. Fucking
hey, amazing. All right. Hey. The op killer, maybe. I don't know. Can confirm Meow didn't do much, says Soju in the chat. That's too good. And for the people asking in the chat, how do we make sure we're getting rewards for tuning in here? Andrew Mason, the reward is the experience itself. It's the friends you make along the way and the insight into the Jupiter community. That's what we're all about over here. All right, let's go over to the second win of the week, which is indeed, as I mentioned, Soljakey has joined the Jupiverse. Any fans of Jakey's content in the chat? Let me know with a little W here. Jakey, long time. What'd you say?
No, Jakey.
JJJ, yeah, J's in the chat, not W.
Get it? Jakey for Jup, get it? Yeah.
Jakey, I honestly, this was clearly meant to be years ago. Shout out to Jakey's parents for naming him with a J name to make it happen here. On a crash course with Jupiter his whole life. He's been a longtime member of the Jupiter community, has been creating content around Jupiter, has talked about Jupiter all the time. And now he's kind of brought into the fold as a Jupiter creator to help push this forward. So maybe he will get a Jupiter face tattoo if enough people ask him to. So maybe just spam him on that. And then we'll get a face tat of maybe Meow's face on Jakey's face would be the coolest thing to do. So shout out to Jakey. Shout out to Steve, Solana Steve as well for helping make that deal happen. What a time to be alive, says Jakey in the chat. And he is indeed right. I remember when Jakey was grinding back with like, whatever, a few thousand followers. Now the man has got like 110,000 on Twitter. He's hanging out.
I'm telling you, man. It's like if there's we can talk about later, but if there's any man that like shows like defines hustle for me in the whole crypto, it's Jakey. I mean, like such fucking hustle. Let's go. But that's a big one.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hear from Jakey in just a little bit. If you're not familiar with him, you get a chance to meet him. The next one here is over on the Chaos Labs front. So longtime viewers of the Planetary Call will remember when the Chaos Labs team came onto the Planetary Call to talk about the risk dashboard that they were developing for the JUP's perps product. And that dashboard is now live. You can go check it out on the link listed over there. Maybe we can put this into the chat as well. It's great just to get clear insight into what is going on with the Jupiter perp side. Everything like these high-level metrics, P&L and fees for like cumulative trader data, market details, and much more. Go check that out. And it's going to help just ensure that Jupiter perps remains stable, safe, and everything else into the future. So thrilled that this one is out the door. People asking for the link. The Jupiter Exchange just posted it on YouTube, so you should be able to click that link directly. Somebody says I look like the guy from the Catfish show. I shouldn't read the comments while we're doing this. I should do other stuff.
Wait, anyway. No. Is it the one that is it the one that's being used as catfish or the one catfishing?
Yeah. Do I look like the fat black woman that is like pretending to be a skinny white woman, or do I look like the host of the show? I don't know. It could go either way, I guess.
Or the one being used as bait, right?
I don't like where this is going. We're going to move right along here. It's
a good story.
Final win of the week here. Shout out to the Web Working Group, one of the trial working groups that was approved by your votes not but a few months ago. They have officially shipped the Jup DAO brand kit. This is something I'm particularly excited about. Let me actually just load this link up real quick here. It's got a bunch of cool things in here that it's going to make content creation for Jupiter way easier. So if you're participating in the bounties through the Uplink working group, or you're just creating your own stuff on the side, you now have a bunch of assets that'll make your life much easier. Everything from colors, logos, text, type fronts, etc., etc. But maybe the coolest part, the Midjourney guide, which is going to be coming soon. So the Midjourney guide will include prompts that you can use to create kind of like Jup-aligned designs as well, along with Figma files, Webflow clonable, and a bunch of other things. So like to see the Web Working Group putting out work into the community to make everybody's lives a bit better. So shout out to them. Sweet resources is right. Okay, cool. With that said, let's start to move in. Folks, we have a very busy agenda. We got a lot of stuff to go through today. So let's jump into the Jup Forward section. And of course, who better to talk about this than the confirmed feline and also confirmed musical artist. I don't want the people to forget to expect a Meow music album coming out soon, possibly with a bit of rapping on it. Drop a little meow in the chat for the man himself, or the cat himself, excuse me.
It is so funny because I have to do 1,000 push-ups and then I also have to rap. Oh my god, that's a lot of fucking work, you know.
Yeah. And you also have to help run this $1 billion protocol at the same time. So yeah, your work is cut out for you, my friend. But what can you tell the folks about H2 for Jupiter?
All right, so basically, I think I wanted to just give a quick overview on what is gonna happen in the second half of the year, right? For 2024. Basically, I think the headline, the whole I actually spent a good amount of time thinking about it. Like, what is a good way to explain what our high-level tagline for Jupiter is in 2024? As you know, we do a lot of stuff at Jupiter, right? You know, right? So it's like it's very hard to go like we are doing A or B or C necessarily, right? You know, whereas I think what we are doing, I think is always around one word, which is experiment. You know, because I think and the reason why I think that is actually the keyword for us is that I think experiment is a really good term to describe how we do things, right? It's like it's not quite like we know what we are doing, but it's also not quite. It's also more like so we want to always be very clear, right, that we don't know what we're doing, right? I feel like I think in this space everyone is just always rushing to say, oh, I know what we're doing, here's the vision, everything, right? But I think for us, I think the main thing is that we want to be clear that we don't know what we are doing, okay? But we do know where we want to get to, you know, right? And therefore we experiment, you know, to kind of like, you know, see where we want to get to. So I feel like I feel like that mindset describes quite well where we are right now in our life, right? We don't know what we're doing. And start the whole space moves super fast, right? All we can do is to learn as much as possible. And then, but we do have a good sense of where we're going, right? You know, where we're going and where we want the world to be. And so we're gonna experiment towards that. I think H2 thing is H2 thing is actually gonna be where I think we do a lot of experiment, right? So I think first of all, I think we have consolidated several product lines, right? We have the spot product, with the 8 product, we have Perks product, RFG. So I think we're gonna make major improvements across all these things. I think I just spent a good amount of time with the team, going through these things. I think we're gonna have some like really good stuff to push, you know, in the coming couple of weeks. And Jupiter Mobile will be coming out as well, so that's gonna be pretty fun. You know, I think actually, you know, we are kind of stuck in a what we call it to be the App Store purgatory, you know, right?
Yeah, Apple review process is a
yeah. So that's actually one major thing. And obviously the thing that is actually really exciting for people is that is the 3 crucial votes that are coming up, right?
Yes.
You know, firstly around the 30% token reduction, right? Secondly around the Jupiter, really big one, by the way. I think and the ASR. I think these are all decisions that would really push us to think, right? To kind of understand kind of the Jup token, the Jup future, and what to do, right? And I think really push us to understand like what is going to be, especially in Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter, I think it's going to be an amazing experiment, right? Because we are gonna be asking voters, right? We're gonna give voters a choice, right, to decide whether to grow the Jupiverse and stuff, you know, by including by all the Jupiter users as part of that, right? I think that's actually really fascinating and it kind of never been done before. So I think it's going to be really interesting to kind of see how that how the conversation and the vote goes, right? I obviously ASR talked about that, right? Right? That'll be fairly interesting as well. So I think at the end of the 3 votes, we should have a really good understanding. So the outcome is this, right? At the end of all 3 votes, we should have a really good understanding, right? Not just of like what the plan is, but what each of what individuals think, but what we think as a community, right? And I'm saying, and then if the votes get passed, great. If the vote get passed, but then there is a lot of unhappiness, we work to resolve those unhappiness, right? If the votes don't get passed, we'll focus on something out. But whatever happens, we'll find out. Right? So that's happen, right?
Yeah.
And then and also some of the work groups, some of the work groups are coming up, right? We'll be coming up for like for the trial groups. So the work groups have to decide if they want to extend. Right, and then when the extend, you can put a proposal, right? And we also do, and then we like the team and CWG also have to think about, okay, whether we do want to encourage some groups to merge or to extend and to merge or whatever things like. So that's to happen, right? So that's gonna be fun, and I think there might also be a couple other work groups that we're gonna propose, right? They can be fun as well. And then okay, this is actually really exciting for me. So as you know, we have LFG right now, right? We have LFG that we did. And that was like and that is like basically one type of launch, right? And it's gonna be really awesome because for that kind of launch where the top tier projects kind of like get voted on, right? Get filtered, get voted on, and finally punch through.
Due diligence, etc. Yeah,
everything, right? So basically, I think we're gonna have 2. It's gonna be great because we're gonna start with Cloud, who is going to like really who has done a lot of comps around the VOD and the DRM and everything, right? And then Dbridge. I think those 2 things will actually be amazing indicators, right? I'm saying for how we can do this, whether this current model works, right? As a token launch meta, right? So I'm really excited about that experimentation. And then the second thing I experiment on is that I think I talked about this, but we're going to be doing a number of like a meme coin launch. We're going to be setting up a series of meme coin launch experiments. But as you know, meme coins are a really important part of the ecosystem, right? Right. But there's obviously been a lot of like trauma and a lot of like issues around like how meme coins are currently launched, right? So the thing is that can we actually create a healthier system, that's more trusted for meme coins moving forward. So that's actually something that we'll be doing as well. Actually, as soon as tomorrow, right? We are gonna be launching. We're gonna be announcing a few things. Right, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be fun, right? It's gonna be awesome. And last but not least, stuff. The GUM is a really big deal for us. There are many menus to make. There are many menus to make progress on the GUM, right? Both in terms of onboarding new assets, helping new assets and stuff, expanding our reach. But it's something that we're gonna make like a lot of like we're gonna invest heavily, right, on the tanker backend. Both the tanker backend, also the ecosystem outreach, right? And also like trying to innovate on certain like new ideas, right? To make the GUM possible. Yeah. So I think so basically in summary, right? If we again circling one big round to what I was saying and stuff around the experiment, it's gonna be an experiment. I'm saying, right? I think if these experiments work out, right? I mean, okay, experiments always work out, right? Even if they fail, they always work out. They always carry something, right? So I feel like I feel like in summary, I think we will actually have a really good understanding, I'm saying, of all these things and kind of where Jupiter plays in all these things. Yeah. So so that's like the overview for H2. Yeah. And then if we do all those things really well, I think we can kick off 2025, in a really great shape. Yeah.
Smash it. Yeah. So major improvements coming across the key products over here. The DAO getting more involved in deciding the future of certainly the JUP token and the protocol in general in that sense. More working groups, more community input, and an entirely new meta for token launches, along with keeping an eye on the long-term vision.
Three major things, by the way. The first one is around like the one we already have right now. I think Soju talked about how we're going to experiment with some mechanics for the LG to kind of do that. And then secondly, is for what I call meme points. And thirdly is that one of the things that I did actually bring up earlier is that there's actually a lot of conflict between VCs and community and founders and everything. So one of the things that I actually have been interested in for a very long time, right, is how do we actually create a better meta for that as well? You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's actually an area. So basically, I think in the second half of the year, I think ideally we'll have set off a number of the experiments, right? Around like both around the LG, both around like established projects wanting to distribute tokens, around new meme coins, right? And social coins, and also around like the whole VC format. So that's actually the thing that we want to work on, right? Yeah.
A lot of work to do. It's going to be a busy 6 months. Make sure you come to the Planetary call every week to stay on top of it. There's a lot of stuff happening. And then keep an eye out tomorrow for an announcement around potentially meme coin 2.0 meta. I don't know. We'll see.
So a couple of things real quick is that I think someone said they enjoy the Planetary call a lot, makes me feel like a member. Guys, I just want to say this. So someone said this, right? Can you pull it up real quick? Someone, yeah. So
yes,
this let me just spend a bit of time on this, right?
Please.
This is the point, like this is the reason why I think we actually invest a lot of time, right? Not on having board meetings, right? But doing this, right? Because I've learned that like I can either do board meetings or I can do this, right? And I find, let's say I find doing this to be infinitely more interesting than doing board meetings, right? So
that's
I
only
think
because I'm not on the board. If I was on the board, maybe it'd be changed a little bit. But
so I think that is kind of how we do it and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
This is what it looks like to build alongside with the community, folks. The community is let in at every step of the way, informing critical decisions, giving key feedback, being a part of the process so that everyone can stay aligned and keep their expectations aligned. It's what we love to see, folks. I see some J for J's in the chat. Excellent. All right. Well, with that said, let's move on. Should we move on to the LFG Launchpad? Anything else you want to say about the H2 plans here, Meow?
Oh, no. Just like I'm super excited. I think there's lots to do across product, a lot across product, community, ecosystem, team, and everything. Right, I'm doing both like things that are like very, very core and like very present, and also very, very present, and also very, very very far off, right? But I think it's all about experimenting, right? So ideally, we really build all the right pieces to experiment towards the future. Yeah,
absolutely.
So and lastly, but not least, I'm super duper happy to be doing this with everyone, man. So fucking happy, Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So good.
There's no question about it. All right. Well, with a smile on his face, let's move on over to the next section here, which is around LFG. And I'm going to bring up a man on the stage who's part man, part myth at this point. His Riz skills are legendary. It is, of course, the lady killer himself, Soju. Please note, it's ending with an A. Had to drop the hard R on the lady killer. We're going to A to make it a little bit more friendly. Soju, how you feeling and what is happening with LFG these days?
G.U.M, everybody. I think we've been pretty quiet on the LFG front, so we are here to like kick things off with the Sanctum FP coming right after us and me here. So we've been working very hard on the LFG Launchpad to sort of like improve it and continue to be the best place for people to launch tokens on chain. And we've incorporated a lot of learnings that we've had since like the past 3 or 4 launches. So I'm very happy today to come here to unveil like 4 different upgrades that we made to the LFG platform. And it's all, and you'll be able to interact with all these upgrades over the next 2 or 3 launches that's coming up. So the first upgrade is the Alpha Vault is now in the UI. In case you weren't aware, like in the past we built this thing called the Alpha Vault in partnership with the Meow team to sort of like help people like swap for tokens, be the first one to swap, but in exchange you will have vesting. We tried this with Alpha Vault with Uproar. But right now, you'll be able to view information about the Alpha Vault, claim your tokens, and be able to deposit easily from the LFG page. Because we realize that we want to like push this forward and help the community use it better. So that's the biggest improvement, and I think that this will help reassure the community that like we are looking out for these users, looking out for people who is long-term aligned with the Alpha Vault.
So instead of having to go to Meteora, you do it right there within the LFG website itself, yeah?
You still have to go to Meteora to actually put your money in because the program is on Meteora. But right now you'll be able to see a summary of like the Alpha Vault, information about it, how many tokens can you claim and stuff like that from the LFG side. So it's a lot more visible and understandable. That's how I would say. Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. So that's the first one. What is the second?
Yeah. So second one is minimum output. So we all know that when tokens launch, markets are crazy, volatile, liquidity is low. So min output mode is like, think of it as like seepage reimagined. So in the past, you would like, oh, I want to buy $10 worth of JUP, and they'll tell you that okay, you'll receive 0.9 JUP, and then you have seepage 10%, you might get 0.81 JUP instead, which is 10% lower. in minimum output mode, all you have to do is specify the minimum amount of tokens you are willing to receive, and how much tokens you are willing to spend. And then Jupiter will optimize for you and try to like get as many tokens as you can. You basically get whatever you specify or better. So you might see in minimum output mode, you might see 100 tokens, that you might receive 100 CUP tokens, but somehow maybe we can get 110 for you instead of 100. Like that's a very simplified example. Yeah, it's think of it. It's really just CPH reimagined, because the issue with CPH when it comes to high volatile tokens is that if you have a quote that's very weird, then the CPH doesn't really work very well. So minimum output is like okay, I want to spend $100, get me at least 100 tokens, and Jupiter will do the rest for you. It's pretty
Price
cool.
prediction for Cloud to $1 says.
I don't know.
News, if you're watching this,
I like to talk in whole numbers. I don't know what the price of Cloud will be. Yeah, so let's go on to the next one. Yeah, and the rest of the updates comes in the airdrop. So FP will probably talk more about it, but the earnest's airdrop will now be vested. So we now support vesting tokens in airdrops on the Jupiter side. So right now, if you want to launch, if let's say another team wants to do an airdrop, you can actually vest linearly, which means that like you can claim vesting for airdrop basically means that you can't claim the full amount upfront, but you claim it over time from the start to end date. So right now, this functionality is enabled on the LFG platform as well. Projects can decide whether they want to use it or not. I am not saying that every project will use it, so we'll see what the projects want. And I think a pretty exciting thing is dynamic airdrop. So I think if people have been watching the Drift and Zeta launches, they had this thing where if you waited a while and then you'll be able to claim the airdrop, but with a bonus, 100% bonus if you claim 6 hours later. We now support this on LFG as well. So do look forward to teams looking at using this dynamic airdrop, adding a time period, let's say a day, 2 weeks, 6 hours, even 1 hour. You will now be able to view on the UI whether there's a bonus if you wait and receive the bonus if necessary. Yeah, these are the 4 updates we've made.
It's like a crypto version of the cookie experiment. You know, like can a kid sit in a room without eating the cookie? Now we will find out how many crypto community members can do that. Actually, pretty fantastic. So Alpha Vault in the UI. MiniOutput for easier transactions or more kind of predictable transactions here. Airdrop vesting that teams can turn on if they'd like to, and then dynamic airdrops from the team as well. That is a lot.
One thing I want to add is that our vision for LFG is to become this super customizer platform where you can plug and play different components. So if a team comes to us, it's like, okay, I want to do dynamic airdrop to these addresses, vesting to that addresses, combination of DRMM with an Alpha Vault and a dynamic pool. And the goal is to the goal for us is to really keep pushing the meta forward of launching a token on-chain. And we believe that the first step of doing so is to provide the teams with the suite of products that they need to make their launch a success. Yeah. So we are pushing towards that along with the community.
Some big steps being made towards it. I gotta say it's pretty great. Let me bring Meow back up here as well.
Again, say thanks to Shuju and staff and the team for doing such great work on the LG thing. I mean, I would say this. I just say that I think we learned a lot from every launch, right? I think one of the trickiest thing about building a launchpad is this, right? Is that, I mean, think about it, right? If you build a product, right, every day there's someone using it, right? And every day someone using it and stuff, and every day, and every day someone uses it, and there's always a lot of room for iteration and experimentation and stuff. So launches are obviously very different, right? I mean, it's one thing if you're just launching a meme. It's one thing if you're just like a meme coin machine, and you're launching like say a new meme coin every day, like 10 meme coins every day, right? Then it's different from like saying like, okay, you're a project or you're a serious meme coin creator who really kind of invest a lot of time and soul into creating something, right? So I think in this case, obviously we can't guarantee anything about the success of token, right? That's not up to us. But I think what we want to do is that I think we really want to kind of work with them to kind of understand what they need in terms of what they need in both communications and also like marketing help and everything and stuff, and try and also the actual launch itself, and try to make it maximize kind of like what we can do for them, right? So that actually means that we actually spend a lot of time and stuff like kind of like figuring out what to do for everyone and how to do for everyone. Yeah. So so I think it's actually very interesting because I think we do actually learn a lot from every launch, and I think and hopefully I think we can do our best, and hopefully we also get to learn a lot as well, so we can actually over time like really make the launch meta a lot better for everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Small steps towards perfection, folks. That is the name of the game. I'm not sure why Soju rubbed a strawberry.
It's a heart shape. It's a heart
Oh,
shape.
it's a
You
heart
see?
shape.
It's a red heart. This is just me.
I see. Okay. See, this is that. That's why they call him the lady killer, folks. Just imagine you're
I
sitting
have-
at a restaurant on the patio, you and your girl, and then Soju just walks up and puts a little heart-shaped strawberry in her face. I mean, you're just game over. I'm so sorry to tell you.
out live to everybody watching the call.
All right. Well,
I
speaking
mean,
of
that's
LFG,
that's the reason why you keep your girlfriends at home, right? You know, and don't let them anywhere near the call. Okay, no calls, no call, no break for nothing. Okay, right? Just
single
keep them
ladies
away from
very
Singapore.
welcome. But if you're in a
If
relationship,
possible, migrate them away, just far away. I heard Papua New Guinea is a good place, you know, to hide a girl.
Ask them on the island. Well,
Thanks, guys.
all this talk of LFG is getting me excited about our next guest, who needs no real introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Because in addition to having just luscious locks, let me pull him up here so we can see those luscious locks of hair. He's also the co-founder of Sanctum, which I think everyone here knows because you all voted for them off the LFG Launchpad. So please drop a little earnest in the chat for live stream expert, dev extraordinaire, and possibly also a battle rapper, Mr. FP Lee from Sanctum. How you doing, FP?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Anytime I'm around you, I'm excited, except this idea. I don't know if people have noticed that Soju and FP have been doing streams lately, and they are better than me and Meow. I'm just going to say it frankly right now. So I'm going to be out of a job pretty soon. Thankfully, this is not my full-time job right now. But FP, what can you tell the people about Sanctum and the upcoming cloud launch?
Yeah, I mean, we're launching cloud finally. I've had many posts and to explain how all of this will work, the Alpha Vault and stuff, many AMAs, and finally we're getting here, right? So this is going to be Sanctum week, right? We're gonna start off Monday, right, with this survival guide to cloud. And then we're gonna have this liftoff call, right, with you guys, and then immediately after we'll start the open of the vault, and then people can come and sort of like deposit, right, and then so 48 hours after that, token will start trading, and then we'll see how it goes. And I have to say, like, Jupiter is really a top tier team. You know, all of those LFG requests, all these LFG new features that were made, well, that was because we made a lot of unreasonable requests and they accommodated all of them. So
I noticed Soju
thank you very much
right
to
now,
the team.
crying to himself. That's what's going on here, I guess.
I'm really sorry to the devs, but I mean, this is why Jupiter is like the best in all of crypto, honestly. Yeah.
Pretty great. So are we sharing anything around the vesting and the way that vaults will work now, or are you holding that off until next week?
Yeah, let's wait. We'll have a deep dive. We'll have a deep dive on Monday. We'll explain. So we'll have the finalized details. We'll come on Monday, and then we'll write a guide on sort of like, basically I've written lots of posts, too many words. Let's slim it down, right? Everything you need to know. How is it going to work? When is it going to open? What do you need to do? How do you claim? How do you buy? How, like, and everything. So everything will be there in one place, and that should hopefully give people all the context that they need. Yeah.
Fantastic. Make sure folks come back. It'll be on Tuesday next week. The planetary call will not be on Wednesday. It'll be on Tuesday so that we can do this deep dive along with FP and answer your questions live on the call. But maybe before we get there, it's probably worth just kind of restating for anyone who is a little bit newer what the kind of broader vision here is on the Sanctum side.
Yeah, so I see a lot of similarities in what Jup is doing with G.U.M, right? Is bringing everything off chain on chain. I think what we're doing is similar and complementary, right? So I think that the purpose of crypto should not be purely to gamble and to trade shitcoins and everything. I think there's a lot of desire for people to, hey, like, can I buy a real goods with my soul, or with my with my on-chain money? Can we use it to fund an artist or fund my dreams, right? To build a game or make something useful, right? Can I do something? Can I pay my rent? Can I pay my any kind of thing? So can I live my life with my net worth on chain, right? I think that's the kind of vision that all of us are striving for. I think that LSTs are going to be like this core financial primitive to enable that future, right? So I'm excited to work with Jupiter to piece that all together.
Oh, fantastic. I do think that, like, you're already seeing so many cool... Actually, maybe I'll just ask you, what are some of the coolest experiments you've seen from the liquid staking community here?
I think there are a couple that excite me a lot. So one is okay. I mean, it's FP Soul, which is mine. But I mean, it's not it's not that mine is great. It's just that I love the idea of being able to hold an LST and support an artist or a creator or someone that you really like, right? And so we. After TG, Sanctum profiles is going to be big. We're going to let everybody basically create their own personal LST, and then you'll be able to buy your friends, LSTs in order to support them. And I think this is great because it's kind of like friend tech, except there isn't this kind of like crazy speculation, and nobody loses any money, right? It's all always going to be like pegged to Sol, which is great. Another one is Cubic with their public goods, right? This is basically kind of like hold Sol to basically support public goods and improve sort of like the state of Solana. And then another one is Pathfinders, which is trying to build an NFT project that doesn't rug you, right? So you have the LST, you lock it up, right? And then if you don't like where the project is going, you just burn the NFT and you get all your Sol back. And so that is like a new meta of NFT projects that don't steal your money basically. Yeah.
That's super cool. So like as a primitive, you can use it now for like accountability, for charitable giving. Shout out to Irfan and Dhruv and the Cubic boys to support individual creators. And all the while, you're still earning your yield on your Sol as well. So it's taking an asset and starting to do some real good with it behind as well. Pretty great stuff. Does FP Sol, those rewards go directly to your battle rap, funding your battle rap career, or like where are those funds going?
Right now it goes all into my wallet, and when I have a little bit more bandwidth, I'm gonna figure out what the best thing to do with that thing. But we're gonna do something fun with it. We're gonna make sure like it's like a test bed to test all these like crazy concepts with blinks and stuff, right? There's so many cool stuff you can do on Solana today, right? And I think like we're gonna try all the janky stuff on FP Sol first before we roll it out to the public.
Excellent. Yeah, there's some people in the chat who are now asking for battle rap, so we maybe have memed this into existence. Let me bring Meow back up here as well.
I see a lot of earners in the chat. Like there's lots of earners in the chat. What's up, dude, with that?
Can you explain the earnest meta here, FP?
Yeah, like what's up with all the earners? It's crazy, Yeah.
Well, so for our airdrop, like for the longest time, people were complaining basically. I mean, there was this debate about when you do an airdrop, is it better to do linear, right? Which is that, okay, you have some metric, which is TVL or capital over time, and you distribute that equally to the equally proportionally to how much capital you put in, or is it better to do tiered, right? Which is what Jupiter did. And I think what we're doing is that we're doing like something that is neither of those things. It's like there is a half capital component, which is linear, and then the half earnestness component, which basically we are rewarding good people who have given good feedback, given good comments, been really helpful on our Discord, ask really good questions, write blog posts, write articles, threads, that kind of stuff. If they've helped us in a way that isn't monetary, right? That isn't just like you've put money in, because there is that airdrop for that. And the one part of the airdrop is like how good is your contribution? A little bit like the Jupiter good cats. Yeah.
I dig it. I think it's very cool to reward. I mean, it is indeed similar philosophically to the J for J kind of idea, right? Like if people are contributing value in, they should be getting some value out ultimately. And it's fun just to see like crypto Twitter get a little bit sweeter, get a little bit more earnest instead of all the normal Bitcoin.
The hope is that, look, this place, like we need to reward the people that we want that are good, right? And the people that we want to see more of. And there are a lot of people, right, who may sort of be poor, but like, I mean, not poor, but like, they may not have as much capital that they're willing to deploy, but they're very helpful, they're very active, they are helping us in all these ways. And I think it's important to recognize these people's contributions and reward them appropriately, right? Because like that's, if you get more helpful people, more like earnest people, like that's the kind of like community we want to see, right? We don't want this like everything is about the money kind of culture here in crypto. That's not what I want to see. Yeah, and I think these people are going to be a lot more useful in pushing the mission forward, the greater vision of Sanctum and of crypto in general. If we can attract these people and make them stay, right, I think that's going to be very, very helpful for us.
Love to see it.
So what last thing real quick, so I can get Meow at some point?
Oh, of course, we can set it up for you tomorrow if you want. Today, after this.
Meow, let's go.
Yeah, so we'll have to do a little it'd be fun to imagine like a battle dynamic here as well, where like two people go up with their own personal Sol tokens. One leaves, the liquidity moves into the other. There's just so many like fun experiments you can run. I mean, I guess this is the theme of this call now, is experiments, right? But Sanctum as a primitive to do more experiments is super fun. And indeed, the launch is coming up.
I mean, I would just say one last thing about I'll say one of the Sanctum is like, when I first met FP and told me Sanctum a while back and told me it was Infinite LST, right? I was like, oh, it's actually really interesting because you can actually leverage a lot of the partners, right, to really spread the awareness, right? But I must admit, like, what blew me was execution, right? I mean, I could see why it would be a good idea back then, but I could not have seen how well they executed, so big credit. Yeah, huge credit, everything. Yeah, so I'm just very excited about the launch. True by the execution so far have been amazing, and yeah, I think we'll be super excited to see what happens. Yeah, coming up. Yeah.
It's going to be pretty great. When I first met FP, I think there was like 4 liquid staking tokens on Solana, maybe. And now already the token hasn't even come out. And now there's dozens, if not like 100, basically.
Billions.
So,
millions
and millions.
Everyone in the fucking world. Everyone in the world is a fucking LST. That's how it works,
Get ready for it, folks. Come back again on Tuesday. Keep an eye out on Monday to the Sanctum and FP and Jay's profiles on Twitter for some more details. Come back to the Planetary call on Tuesday. Again, it's not going to be Wednesday next week. It'll be Tuesday at the same time. And we'll dive into all the details ahead of the token launch. FP, thanks so much for coming out, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. Cheers, man. All right. Well, with that said, let's bring up our next guest, who I've already kind of glazed. Is that the term that the kids are using these days? I've already glazed him up a little bit, but I got to just say, I'm so thrilled to be working with him here. You know him from everywhere on crypto Twitter. You know him from doing stunts that get onto NBC. I think you know him from the Marshmallow lawsuit potentially as well, Jakey. I don't know if that's still going on, and much, much more. Please drop a little JJ in the chat for Soljakey, the latest.
Jakey, the man. Jakey, hello. How's it going?
What's up? Thank you guys for having me. No, I love that intro. Fuck all the glazing. I love it, dude.
Well, Jakey, for anyone who has somehow missed, actually, even for people that maybe have seen your stuff more recently, they might not know how hard you've been hustling, how hard you've been grinding, and over what time period. Do you mind giving people a little taste of the Jakey life story here?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief, but I was like running it back in my head, but I've been creating content on the internet for over a decade now. It all kind of like started with skateboarding in that jackass like genre and the culture they created. I was like super attracted to, and the skateboarding community and culture is like heavily intertwined with jackass. And I remember filming like my first like dude at home movie. It was called GTF2, the movie, where it was like 20% skateboarding and the other 80% was like us just doing crazy shit all of my senior year. And we did like a little premiere of that at like our graduation party, and everybody loved it. And I think that was kind of the moment where I was like, all right, I'm not going to go to college, which was a tough conversation to have with my parents. But I told them I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to do whatever this is. I don't really know what this is, but I'm going to do this because I think it's going to work. And I've been doing that for, I don't know, I was doing that for like 6-7 years. And then I found my way into NFTs through a few podcasts that I was watching back in 2021. It introduced me to Solana. And I quickly kind of realized that inevitably this industry, this crypto sphere, will have an entertainment aspect to it. It will have personality and relatability. And I think we were a little early to that, but just been hustling here ever since and doing what I can and bringing kind of my energy from Web 2 into Web 3. And it's been a lot of fun, but that's a very brief kind of summary of how I ended up here. And yeah.
So I've been noticing a lot of your game, man. I mean, you have such great game when it comes to like just figuring out how to engage communities and stuff, engage the celebrities. I mean, I saw you went on a date with Caitlyn Jenner, right? Right. So like what how do you think about like what is your mindset on the whole meme culture thing, and what do you what is your view on like the celeb coins, and like how do you for me, I struggle with it, right? It's like how do we really embrace this new fun meta, right? In the second, right? While also like making sure that also sure that there's a certain responsibility, right? Because we are actually getting people to put their real money in there and stuff, right? So it's like, how do you So I guess two questions in there, right? Like the first question is that how do you what is your motivation for like going so hard? right? After like and really like driving more people in the whole game, right? And secondly, how do you balance out that like driving more people into it, versus like the quote unquote like a bit more responsible part of the pie, Yeah.
I think with the meme coins, especially like, I don't know, the celebrity coin is like a whole different side to like the ball game.
Yeah,
I think it's like a gray area, right? I think like I look at it like this. My videographer, his name's Colton, who does all of my editing, filming. 50 what you see on camera is 50% what he does behind the scenes, right? And I've been trying to get him into Web3 and NFTs and understanding all this like crypto stuff for well over a year. And I think the first time I seen him really be intrigued and dial in and doing his own thing within Web3 and crypto was when I showed him BonkBot and meme coins, because it was so easy to understand. It was like, okay, is the meme comedic? Is there a community? Is there like culture? Like, is this a meme from like 10 years ago that has like this like little culture community behind it in Web 2? And it was just easy for him to understand and kind of jump into the casino and have fun with it, right? And BonkBot makes it super simple to trade meme coins. So I think when it comes to meme coins, it is a weird area, because you see the ethical practices and then you see the non-ethical practices towards it. And I think finding that middle ground is the best place to be. And then you talk about like celebrity coins. Of course, for someone like me, who I consider myself a professional attention seeker. Like that.
Stop. We all are. So
some are just good at it. That's the difference. Jakey's
good. Yeah, he's good at it. We are bad.
When you think of cloud chaser, you probably think of me in some regard, right? Or at least I fit that by definition. So when it comes to the celebrities, I see it as opportunity to be in front of a larger audience than just this crypto space. And I think that's how I viewed it from the very beginning. I think my views on the celebrity coins has changed a little bit, because it's definitely progressed and we've seen it become toxic in a way, and you kind of see these celebrities mixed with the wrong crowd sometimes. And so I don't want to give a formal opinion on it, but I think regardless, for a content creator like me, the attention is not also bad, as long as I'm doing it in good practice. Like the date with Caitlyn Jenner, that was fun. We're not talking about Wayne. We're not talking about we're talking about real life stuff, and we're just having fun. Like Bruce Jenner is a legend, all right. And I got to throw traveling with her. So I don't know. That's kind of my take on both sides. I wish I could be a little bit more juicy and kind of tell you guys more and maybe get a little clip out of it, but that's how I feel about it right now.
No. I feel like you're right. I feel like it's actually one of those things that I think one of the things that I really think that we don't appreciate is how relatable meme coins are, right? I think we talk a lot, but I mean we are so used to talking about blockchains and DeFi and stuff that we don't realize that, wow, holy shit, DeFi is complicated, right? Like you and like all that shit, and it's actually really complicated, right? So I think that's actually one thing that I think people like meme coins really have that level of relatability. It's almost like we all like certain comics, we all like certain brands, we all like certain cartoons, right? We also like certain animes, we like certain images, right? So I feel like that kind of like relatedness to like logos and symbols are actually very powerful, right? And they kind of drive meme coins, right? Right? So I totally agree and get that.
It's the same thing with creators too, right? Where it's like, sorry to cut you off, but it's the same thing with creators where it's like, it's no secret, you can garner a large following. That's like one side of the coin, right? But it's like, in order to turn those people into like supporters or like an actual audience that supports you, there needs to be personality and there needs to be relatability. 100%. And it's like, it's kind of the same 100%. With meme coins in a way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's all those things, right? It's like, they're easily like hundreds and thousands of like attractive people, on Instagram. They have a lot of followers, right? But the ability to turn but there's a really, really big difference between like having followers and stuff and having views, and versus like having a cult, right? Or a big following, right? So I feel like I feel like meme coins are similar in that regard, right? One last thing I will say is that I think I love the whole thing about professional attention seeker, right? Because in many ways I think if you are a professional in crypto and you think that you're not a professional attention seeker, you are doing it wrong.
I agree. The game. The attention economy is the most important in anywhere, whether you're a creator, whether you're an NFT project, whether you're on the DeFi side, meme coin side, like attention is the game. And again, like I said, there's ethical ways to garner that attention. But I think like even when you think about the marshmallow stunt, I know you had mentioned that, Cash, before I hopped up here, but it's like that did exactly what I wanted it to do, because it caused a conversation where it was 50% of people thought that that was not a good thing and that was a bad idea. And then there was a 50% of people that thought, well, it was fun, it was cool, it was engaging. And that's like the perfect mixture, because now you have opinions being thrown around and it generates conversation.
You know what's funny, JK? I'll say this, right? Today I finally understood the difference between you and me. Okay, I finally understood, right? Because I was like, okay, we are both similar. We both like have a taste for the edgy. We both like, we are both like, we both admit to be professional attention seekers. But I get it. Your comfort zone and the point you hit is 50-50, right? No, like you go for the 50-50 thing, right? No,
Yep.
I think for me, I must admit, I tend to go for 75-25. I try to I try to go for like things like 75% people agree and 25% don't, right? So that's like my line, right? Right? But I kind of want to go more towards where you are. I think for second half I'll try to go towards like, I think 65-35. I think I'll try to go there.
I think you got to play around with it a little bit. Like professionally speaking, I think the 75-25 is probably your best bet. Because sometimes it does get a little worrisome when you have that 50% that hate you. So like we'll work our way towards being on that 75-25 side, but there's probably going to be a few steps to get there. But I like that. I like that comparison. That's great.
Yeah, I like to. I want to kind of move, experiment towards that 50-50. Yeah, so that's my. And so yeah, I feel like maybe we meet in the middle, no? I'll see you in the middle, bro.
I'll help you with that too. Let's run it.
It's gonna get pretty wild.
Let's run it.
This Meow at 75%, Meow at 50% is going to be pretty wild. But listen, Jakey, what can the folks in the Jupiter community expect from you now that you are kind of a Jupiter creator? What do you got? What do you got cooking, my friend?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what Cash, you and I have been on multiple calls before too, and just like talking it out. And I think when you think of Solana, you think of this ecosystem. There's certain companies that come to mind right off the bat, or certain entities, whatever you want to name it. And Jupiter is at the top of that list, right? And so I think it just makes sense for us. And I think in terms of like content, yeah, I want to bring that edgy side within reason. I want to bring that personality, and I want to have fun. I think fun is the game, and that's the most attractive thing to new people coming into the space. Is like, okay, how can I have fun other than making money? All right, let's all be real. We all want to make money. Okay. So I think it's no different with Jupiter. I think, even Cash, you have seen it. Meow, I don't know if you have seen it yet. I think we're going to release it next week. I hope I can say it, but we did film our first piece of content, which I truly love. I think it's more on like the cool concept side rather than the edgy, like comedic side. But doing stuff like that and having fun with it and continuing to shape this commercial side along with like the edgy, like fun side, and mixing those with Jupiter and keeping it informative too, because I think everybody should understand how Jupiter operates and why it exists in Solana and how important it is to Solana. I often refer to Jupiter as the doorway to Solana. So I want to make sure people are aware of that. And there's a lot of new people coming into space. And so hopefully I can put it in a relatable, in a digestible way of why you should know about Jupiter and understand how to use it.
Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of new products coming out as well. So I'll make sure that Juju kind of talk to you and stuff, and just give you a rundown of things. Yeah, looking forward, bro. It's gonna be fun. Thanks for coming on, bro. It's fun talking to you, bro. So fun.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Like I said, the team is full of legends. I'm in the group chats. There's a bunch of great people, and I'm excited to be here. So I appreciate you guys having me on and including me. I'm just happy to be here.
And bro, great chatting, bro. Great chatting. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you soon, bro. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Excellent. Jakey, thanks so much for coming on, man. We will be catching up very soon. Stay tuned next week. The first piece.
And JJ, and one last thing, real quick. Do a JJ. All right, everyone's doing JJ right now. It's crazy,
I love it. I don't want to get distracted by the comments, but I love it. Let's make that a thing. I think that's a new
JJ. It is real. Thank you very much, Jakey. We'll catch you soon, brother.
See you guys.
Cheers, then. All right, folks. I know we're already past an hour, but don't go anywhere because we have more fantastic folks to speak still. Let's head over into the partnerships corner. And our next guest, when they talk about the term OG, this is one of the guys that they're talking about here. Kane is been a legend in the space for a long time. He's one of the people, quite frankly, a little fanboy moment. When I first got into crypto, was a big fan of Kane's. I would read his writing and think about what he was doing with Synthetics. Synthetics was a protocol that actually initiated DeFi Summer along with Compound and a few others, whatever that was, 2 or 3 years ago. So a lot of the interest in DeFi can be at least sourced to some of the work that he was doing then. And now he's back with a new project with a very straightforward but complicated mission, which is to make DeFi accessible to the masses. Obviously, there's a lot of resonance with everything Jupiter's trying to do in terms of growing the pie and accelerating the meta. I'm thrilled to bring him up on stage. Please drop a little JM in the chat for our guy Kane from Infinex. Kane, how you doing?
Hey guys. Can I just I've been on a lot of community calls, and first of all, surely you don't do this every week. That can't be
In fact,
right.
we do,
Is
my
that,
friend. In fact, we do. Yeah, you can
is
tell
that
by my
like
gray hairs.
I feel like I'm being trolled. Like the energy level for the last hour, I've been sitting here and I'm like, this must be like a quarterly thing that you guys are doing. This is crazy.
Kid. First of all, I love you. Second of all, every fucking week.
EFW, my man.
It's madness. Madness. Honestly, energy level super bullish. I'm super impressed. Just like bang content, amazing. I was about to start a game to do a push-up every time Meow said experiment. I don't drink anymore. So
you would give me 1,000 push-ups faster than Meow would if you actually fucking.
I would be. Yeah. I know it would. I would have been at like 5,000 push-ups. I mean, look, experimentation. I think is the name of the game. So that was really resonating with me. I think that. Iterative experimentation you guys are doing.
I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Because let's get real here, right? I mean, you have been in the game for a long time, right? Like this space moves like crazily fast, right? I mean, like whatever we thought we knew like a few months ago, I mean, like who would have thought that the whole fucking meme coin thing just fucking blew up, bro? Right? You know what I'm saying? You know? And of course, yeah. And if you're working in DeFi for a while and stuff, you remember the moment where liquidity mining came out, and you always a big part of that, right? Liquidity mining came up and stuff, and then just fucking just grew and went crazy, right? So it's like we're in a world where like a small idea, a small incentive tweak, right? I'm saying a small change in how people think about tokens and stuff, a small anything. It's crazy. It just changes the whole game, you know, right? So I feel like the only way that I found myself being able to like stay focused, right? Like stay focused, yet at the same time keeping up with changes, right? You know, is to have the experimental mindset, right? You know, right? And yes, I found that to be the only feasible way of living life, right? You know, in
agreed.
Space, yeah,
100% agree. Yeah, I think just being aware of like we don't know what the answer is, right? I love the idea of like we know where we want to go, but we don't know how to get there, right? So we've got to experiment our way through.
It's really interesting. Well, I feel like in this space, right? I think people often like they're often like very anxious to give direction, right? So they will say a lot of stuff, like, oh, this is what exactly I'm gonna do, A, B, C, and D, right? You know, right? But I feel like that's actually often like very misleading. But at the same time, I think we don't let people know where we're going, right? So I feel like I think the best I think we can do is to really kind of like communicate a certain humility, right? In the sense that we don't know what we're doing right now, but we want to go somewhere, you know? So that's kind of energy and stuff, you know?
Yeah. There's a lovely line that like a prototype is worth 1,000 meetings, right? It's like the best way to actually just learn how to do something is by literally putting it out into the world and doing it. And maybe Kane, to kind of kick us off here, for anyone who's not familiar with Infinex, can you talk to the people about the latest experiment that you guys are running over on this side?
Yeah, so I think it was like maybe September last year. I got to the point where I was like, all right, I need to understand what is happening in Solana. You know, I took a break from the space for like 6 months, and I was like, all right, I'm back, and like the Solana thing is still here, right? Like it's still here. You guys are still grinding. I'm like,
It
all
wasn't
right,
obvious.
I gotta figure this out. No,
Yeah.
no, it was not obvious,
Amazing.
right? There was contrarian.
Amazing.
There was a period where it was like not 100% clear. So I was like, all right, I got to figure this out, right? I need to your point, you know, I need to be humble, right? And I need to start and you know, get in and figure this thing out. And so I started trading meme coins. I was on Deck Screener. I was, you know, buying stuff on Jupiter. I was playing around with a bunch of stuff, and it was super fun. It felt to me a little bit like, you know, the early DeFi days, right? There was just crazy stuff going on constantly. You couldn't keep up with it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make a meme coin. So I made a meme coin. I deployed a meme coin on Solana. I deployed a meme coin on Optimism. I created these like weird games where you had to like burn them and stuff. And it just kind of got me to a point where I was like, all right, I think I get this, like at least enough to have a conversation, right? And alongside that, I was in the process of building Infinex, which is basically designed to be this gateway to everything on chain, right? The idea is to build an interface that is easy for anyone to use, right? You know, for anyone to be able to you know, essentially access protocols like Jupiter, right? And now everyone here who's on this call, right, is on chain. They get it. They've got Soulflare, they've got Phantom. You know, they're doing on chain transactions all the time. But there's a whole bunch of people who are still on Binance. They're still on Bybit. They're still on KuCoin, Coinbase. Like they're not on chain. They're not trading on chain. They're, for whatever reason, they're waiting for the meme coin to be listed by CZ before they actually play the game, right?
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, right? But the main reason I think is the UX, right? We still haven't quite nailed the UX. There's still technical hurdles for people. You need to be, have a level of technical competency to be able to get on chain, and seed phrases and private keys, and there's risk there, right? The people who are using Jupiter are early adopters, right? They're enthusiasts. They're excited about the tech. They're excited about experimenting and trying new things. And so what we're trying to build is something that will make it easy for someone who's on Binance right now, who doesn't feel comfortable going on chain, to trade on chain, to borrow and lend on chain, to provide liquidity, to stake, to buy an LST or an LRT or whatever. And the way that we're doing that is to kind of replicate the Web 2 UX. Instead of needing a seed phrase or private keys, we use passkeys, which I think are like, we're right on the edge of the passkey adoption curve just going parabolic, right? And so we use passkeys and we use turnkey, and we basically make it easy for you to have the ability to sign a transaction from in a secure enclave on your iPhone or Android phone or whatever. And we think that by the time we finish integrating all the stuff that we're going to integrate, whether it's Jupiter or Pyth or Uniswap or whatever the various protocols on all the different chains are, we're going to have a platform where people can migrate off Binance finally. It's been a decade of crypto people living in someone's database, right? We need to bring everyone on chain. And so having built a protocol and seen it from the protocol level up, I was like, let's start this one and go from the UX layer down. And so that's what we're doing.
That is super cool. And I mean, I think the level of kind of abstraction that you guys are able to deliver here, so no need to kind of like figure out all sorts of complicated bridges. It's all kind of just built in here. No gas fees. I saw people in the chat were kind of aghast at that idea of not even having to have gas fees or seed phrases. It's pretty incredible. Yeah. What kind of users are you seeing come on here? Not just in terms of traction, but like, are you noticing a different like archetype? Like, is it still degens that are using this, or is this a little bit closer towards mainstream center?
We're not there yet, right? Like, we're absolutely still degen focused, and the degens are the early adopters. The degens are the ones who try things, who test things, who get wrecked, get back up and try something else, right? And so, those are the people that can kind of prove, right, that they're the ones that go out and advocate, right? They're on Twitter being like, this is a cool new platform, right? When Jupiter was first launching, right, you had your advocates on crypto Twitter that were like, you have to try this. This is amazing, right? So those are the people we have to convince first, the ones who go and read the source code and go and read all the docs and get deep into it. If we can get those people on board, then their friends who are in the Telegram chat with them that, have been too scared to download, Soulflare or whatever, they can be like, this is finally for you. Jimmy, the guy who's stuck on Binance for the last 3 years, right? It's time for you to come on chain. So that's the goal. And, one of the things that, one of the principles that we started with was that we needed to be cross-chain. We needed to be chain agnostic. And we needed to launch with Solana live on day one, right? As an Ethereum person coming in order to have credibility, it was critical that we had Solana on day one. We actually delayed the launch several times because we weren't quite ready, so that we could launch native Solana support from day one, which we've done. So I'm super excited about that.
Actually, big credit to that. I think Ken, I'm not sure. I've been working in the Ethereum space for a while. Like Kyber, Instadat, and also also the WBTC, right? So I think one thing I found is that there's such big friction, right? It's actually mental. It's largely mental. It's not nothing else. There's no other thing. There's purely mental friction, right? Towards trying things, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think I've been really, really impressed by your willingness and stuff to experiment, to try, right, and to kind of take a step forward, right? Because I feel like I really think there's a really big thing forward, in terms of how we because I think the future of the world will be multi-chain, right? There's just too many things going on, and I think just big credit to you for taking a step forward, Yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah, appreciate that.
What did the ecosystem did you feel any what do you think is the biggest reluctance, right? For the broader Ethereum community, right, to kind of dabble in other ecosystems, not just Solana, right, Aptos or Su and whatever. Yeah, do you think there's still this do you think there is still this reluctance, and if so, where does that come from? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think in some ways, some of the people on the Ethereum side certainly are stuck in a similar mindset, right, to the Bitcoin maxis. I'm old enough to remember the space when Ethereum was not an obvious thing. It wasn't clear that it was going to work or get scale or whatever. And the Bitcoin maxis were like, this is nonsense. This is not the right way to do it. We do it this way, and we do it this way for this reason, etc. And so I do think that, talking about experimentation, right? Experiments are good, and market forces are good. And so, what's happened with Solana, I think puts a lot of pressure on Ethereum, on L2s, on other chains. And, that's great for end users. Competition is good, and so I think why are Ethereum users kind of reluctant maybe to jump over to Solana? For me, it was I didn't know what I was doing. I know what I'm doing. I've done at this point I don't even know, like 1 million transactions, right, on Ethereum at this point, right, like just clicking buttons. Yeah. But I had never done a Solana transaction until last year, right? And I was like, I've got to learn a new thing, and that's not comfortable. I'm like, I can do everything I want over here, but it turns out there is actually interesting, novel stuff happening there that I'm missing out on. And so, there needs to be a reason for people an incentive, right? Show me the incentive, and that's what will get people over.
For sure. And for anyone who is Solana and stuff, remember, right, there's always going to be other stuff too, right? So I honestly feel like being a maxi is I feel like the right mindset here is to be maxi anti-maxi, right? Right? I feel like that's the only way to go with, and I love what you're doing with Infinex, right? So looks like great product. I tried it recently. That looks great, right? So really looking forward to seeing what you do next. Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Kate, I know you guys have
I said I was gonna drop some alpha. Yeah. So, sorry. I said I was gonna drop some alpha before we wrap up, what we just went into audit yesterday for Jupiter swaps. So that integration is being audited right now. So we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be one of the first integrations that we launch with.
It's gonna be too good, man. Solana's integration without Jupiter, it's missing something important. So that's pretty great. And then speaking of competitions, I know, Kane, you guys have the Crate Run live. So for people that are looking to get more to explore Infinex and kind of think about what's going on, can you give a brief overview of Crate Run and how people can get involved?
So Crate Run is yield farming plus randomness, right? We've created this like random crate opening meta where you deposit TVL, you farm crates, and crates have different prizes in there. So we're doing a token sale sometime soon. And basically this crate farming game that we're playing, it shows off the platform, right? It shows how easy and cool the platform is. But the second part is it basically gates this sale that we're doing in a few months. And so if you want access, you need to start farming basically. And we're playing some fun games. We got this meme coin war going on right now. And Whiff is right now crushing Pepe. Last I checked, it's pretty brutal trouncing. So something's going right on the Solana side. So yeah, we're just doing a bunch of things. I mean, the thing you guys were talking about attention, right? It's an attention game. I remember, in the early DeFi days, we felt like it was hard to get attention from people. Back in 2019, 2020, people were not paying much attention to things. You got to shout and shout and shout to get anyone to notice. Today, it's a different attention problem. There are so many things going on that getting cut through is actually the hard thing, right? People are paying attention, attention poor, whatever, to a million different things. So getting attention is the thing that, I think is important. And so doing things like meme coin wars, where it's like a silly game, right? Where people are depositing TVL, helps to kind of bootstrap that attention.
Fantastic. Folks, go check out Infinex. Kane, thanks so much for coming on. Pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Yeah, Kane, super nice to meet you. Super nice to meet you once. Super nice talking to you, man. Yeah, take care. See you soon. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.
See you very soon, my guy. Excellent. All right, folks, that leaves us with but one segment left here, which is a fan favorite. The man has been waiting very patiently. W. Kane in the chat, indeed. Drop a little W. Kane. It's great to have him here. Some nice alpha coming through as well. But the next person to come on this call is a longtime community member. He's been busy. I got to say, he was on the Planetary call, I don't know, 3 months ago, maybe, and he's back and he's gone deeper into the Jupiverse than ever. He's got the dulcet tones. He's got the sweet beard. He's got the background to match. Drop a little JM into chat for Sax, everybody.
Sax!
Yes, let's go. What's going on, Meow? What's going on?
Sax.
Everyone loves you guys as well, no doubt.
Only because we know you, man. People come up to me, they're like, "Hey, do you know Sax? Can you introduce me?" That's the only reason people even talk to me.
Man, the voice is so good. Holy shit, the voice is so nice. What the fuck?
Yes, we got the new mics and stuff. So yeah, it's probably sounding crispy right now.
On that, let's use that as a segue. Sax, something tells me you've been using that voice lately. Can you tell the people what you've been working on?
Yes, so me and my friend Wake, everyone knows Wake. We're working on a J.U.P Juice podcast. So it's a podcast for Jupiter, the Jupiter DAO, the Jupiter community, the cadets, the cats of culture, anyone and everyone who's a voter, who's not a voter. It's just some fun on Twitter, live, interacting with the community. Me and Wake hosting some fun stuff, using Jupiter's products, for example, like the 8 wallet to do some meme coining, degening.
Yeah, make any money?
So great.
I'm thinking about doing like a meme roulette. So we'll do one thing where we chuck something at something random, and then we do something like use the 8 wallet the way it's supposed to be used, and then we see what happens, because something will grow and something will definitely go to zero. Shout out zero, obviously. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. Actually, fun fact, it's on every Thursday, 8 p.m. UTC, live on X, me and Wake. So do follow us. You can see my Twitter right here. Stick your bell on and you'll be notified. The other fun fact is I'm actually taking a day. Well, a night. I work nights, right? So I'm taking a night off work to actually host this podcast with Wake every Thursday. So my work's been told I'm doing Jup and Juice, no shifts on Thursday. So
Nice.
that's the dedication we have to the now.
Priorities.
Wow.
That's it. Priorities. Forget the kids, forget the food, forget everything. Jup and Juice. Grab your juices, grab your phantoms, and let's start doing some DJing, innit?
Wow,
Sounds
that
good.
actually sounds like a ton of fun. Actually, I think it sounds like a lot of like content, a lot of good content can come from there as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, right? Like it sounds so much fun. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
so
because
it's going to be. Go
Sorry?
on. Yeah. No, I was going to say it's going to be very relaxed and very, like the planetary call is very formal and to the point and everything. But with us, we had one episode, we called it episode 0. It was like the test episode last Friday, and it went really well. It's very relaxed, and people just, we even send the link out and say jump on stage, come and jump on stage and join us, and let's have some fun. So you're right, content can come from it. Anything could spawn out of it from nowhere, really.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. I think if you can do some just fuck around with some product updates, right? It could be really fun, just talk shit about cash, and just but let the Jup DAO or Jupiter Exchange guys know. We can just do a retweet as well. That'd be fun.
Yeah, actually, we did speak to Slorg and Chemo, and actually, Chemo's been very helpful as well because we're making loads of posters and graphics, and for the stream and for the marketing and stuff like that. So Chemo's helped us in some of his, they do the workshops in the DAO, so they've helped us understand, how the hierarchy of text and stuff works on graphics and stuff like that. So
some people call you Leonidas. Some people call you Jup Jesus. Wow.
I like Jup Jesus. Jup Jesus is nice.
Oh my word! If I back the hair, we're gonna see why people probably say that. Let me back the hair. Why not, man?
Look at this.
Wow,
It gets-
Jup Jesus, bro.
it gets crazy. It gets crazy, but yeah.
Tree snacks over here.
Yeah, holy
Yeah.
shit.
So that's great.
So we're having.
I know. So in addition,
It's not a great idea, by the way. Cash, you should hop on, to the call sometime. That'd be fun.
I would love
I
to.
would love that.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
love
Last
that.
Thursday
Would love
there was some Hacker House stuff going on in London, but yeah, I'm down anytime, my friend. And send
Yeah.
over that content. We'll get it up on the Jup YouTube and on other places as well. We'll get some distribution, but people should definitely check this out. As a fun fact, me and Meow, man, I don't know if you remember this. We once talked about doing a podcast together, like kind of in the early days of the Planetary call, and we wanted to be DGen. And I want everyone in the audience to know, Meow said, "Sorry, Cash, you're just not really DGen enough. You can't do it." So ever since then, I've been losing thousands of dollars on meme coins just to prove Meow wrong. But if you want true dyed-in-the-wool degens, definitely check out the Jup and Juice podcast. But Sax, that's not the only thing you've been working on, I understand, from a Jupiter community perspective. Can you talk a little bit about the voter empowerment ideas?
Yeah. So the voter empowerment stuff, like it's like again, it's me and Wake. We're trying to use Jup Juice as well as one of the like mediums for communication. So we will be showcasing proposals on there as well, and having the people who come on with their proposals do the degening with us and humanizing them as people behind these proposals, right? As members of the community and stuff. Actually, our first guest will be Killian from Stable. So he'll be coming on tomorrow. So we'll see what we can get him doing. But that's like the voter empowerment segment. Also, like we want to facilitate like communication between X and the Discord, because I feel like X users don't really know the depths of what's going on in Discord when it comes to like the DAO members. Sometimes they're so like I was like that myself. I was on XXX, and then I would pop into Discord every now and then.
You were on what? Sorry.
On X.
Okay,
on,
single X. Okay, got
oh, this. Oh yeah. So on as COCs now, being a COC, I'm starting to notice like how much goes in from the community members, and I feel like there's a lot of people. The COC thing, yeah. I'm a huge cock. I'm not gonna lie. I'm yeah. So let's just put it out there. I'm a huge cock. There's many huge cocks in COC. So come into the Discord and like we're trying to become that bridge as voter empowerment, being accessible huge cocks, and allowing people to come and communicate with us, have fun with us, in the voice chats, Twitter Spaces, lives on X and stuff. So that's one of the things. Also, we want to create some prototypes for the UI and stuff, so we can like showcase changes that may help voters vote more, make more informed votes. That is like all part of the voter empowerment stuff. I mean, we've got a detailed proposal on Jupe research, and I'm sure we'll do an episode on Jupe and Juice of our proposal as well. So there's a lot of details within it, but just that's some stuff in a nutshell. I'm sure Wake would do a better job speaking about the proposal. I'm more on the crazy side. He's more on the like writing and detailed side. So, but yeah, that's a touch on that.
Gotcha. Pretty great stuff. So people should go check out the proposal. You should definitely get into the Discord as well. The Discord is where a lot of the action is. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, it's just discord.gg/.
Discord is where the huge cocks are, man.
That's it. The huge cocks. We ain't messing around.
The biggest cocks are not on X, ironically. Discord.
But we're bringing the cocks to X. We're bringing them there, bro. We're not messing around. We're going to be live. We're bringing them there.
Sometimes I try to
what have I done, man? Why? Why? What have I done?
Yeah, you've done this. You've done this. We're going to take full advantage of this, bro.
It's a bad idea. Anyway, big shout out to Wake. Big shout out to Sax. Congrats on becoming a cock at
Thank you
long
very
last.
much. I appreciate you.
Also,
quick question, Cash. Am I the first person to come back for a second run?
You are technically the second person.
Okay,
Julian did come back, but he came back with a working group. So you're the second Cadet Corner.
Yeah, Catdets Corner. I feel honored, bro. Okay, so I'm the first two-time. Call me the two-time.
I'll get you. Your trophy is in the mail, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Plaque,
can I make a really crude joke here? Can I make a really bad joke here?
Let me just stop recording real quick, and then sure, go. Yeah.
At first, you were.
I've never seen Meow shy before to deliver it, which makes me think this is a bad idea. But
I've got Meow blushing, bro.
It's an hour and a half deep into
But that's one thing. The first time you came on, you were cat synonym, and then second time I came on, you were a cop.
Yeah.
So
that's how it goes, bro. We don't mess about.
Who can get the joke gets a reward.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
All right, this is clearly going off the rails. I think we need to start wrapping it up.
Degeneracy.
Go follow Sax on Twitter at SaxWeb3. Tune into the Jupe and Juice podcast. Go join the Discord, and of course, go and read the proposal on the Jupe Research Forum. Sax, thank you very much for coming out, brother. Always a pleasure.
Love as always. Thank you very much.
And it's so funny because we're talking about P and C's, and then we're talking about sex. Right? Get it? We cover the spectrum. We talk about.
I'm moving on. We're moving on into the POAP here now. We gotta start to pull this down. So, folks, thank you for coming out, Sax, and thank you all for coming out and sticking with us over this hour and a half call. Hopefully, you found it as fun as I did. Just to recap where we've come from. We talked about the second half of the year, or Meow talked about the second half of the year, everything that's coming up on the product side, the critical vote side, and the community side. A lot of things are going to be happening. Make sure to stay involved and get up to date with these calls. Soju then talked about 4 LFG Launchpad improvements, including things that allow teams to have more versatility, as well as improvements to the UI for users. FP talked about Sanctum and their token launch, which is, again, coming up next week. Make sure to keep an eye on his Twitter next Monday for full details. We had Soljakey, the latest creator, talking about his journey in the attention economy. We had Kane, the founder of Synthetics and Infinex, talking about onboarding the DeFi masses. And, of course, my guy, Sax, talking about Cox and whatever else comes up. But we are now at that time that everyone is excited for. The latest POAP is here, number 20, extra cute this week around. I think Strajan is feeling in a cute mood. All you got to do is scan this QR code, make sure that you have at least 50 Jupe staked, and then you will receive it in the next hour or two. So go ahead and scan this QR code. We'll give people a second. Meow, you're not going to Burning Man. No Burning Man this year. Much to do, I guess, huh?
What to do, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Work. Jupiter waits for no man or woman, ladies and gentlemen. All right, folks. Hopefully everyone has got the QR code. Actually, Shriji, if you can drop the link. I don't know if you already did. Oh, you already did. The POAP link is also here. So if the QR code's not working for you, you can just click on this link. But Meow's yawning. It is late in Asia. We have had a blast of a time with you all. We're going to play the closing theme song, and then we'll come back to you on Tuesday. Meow, any parting words for the fine folks at home? Just love. Just love. Excellent. All right, folks. here is thank you all for joining so much. Do subscribe to the YouTube and enjoy Meow's favorite song on our way out.
I give a second chance to